Gemini, and welcome to your October 2015 tarot reading. My name is Nikki. Before I begin, I would like to say that I do have a bit of a cold this month, so if my voice sounds raspy or if I start coughing, that is why. I do have some tissues nearby and a cup of coffee, so I'm sure I'll make it through. I also like to say, and I generally do this before every reading, that this is a general reading, so if you are interested in a more personal reading, please visit my website. It's in the description below. I do tarot readings for $15 and I do palm readings for $35. And if you have any other questions about purchasing or anything else, just please feel free to email me. You can find my email address also at my website. Okay, so I've already shuffled and meditated over the cards. We're going to go ahead and see what is in store for you Geminis. I'm doing an elemental spread this month, which is a little different than the spread that I've been doing. Okay. Okay, and your water sector here, this is feelings and emotions and, you know, what you're going to be going through emotionally in the month of October. You have Temperance in reverse. So, Temperance is normally, you know, my favorite card. It's all about balance and moderation and being right there in the middle ground. And, you know, not going to an extreme in any situation. But when it's in its reverse position, I find that it's more like a warning card, that you need to try to temper your emotions. And with it being in your water sector, it's definitely dealing with your emotions. Perhaps you're feeling some very strong emotions in the month of October and you're taking things a little too far. So try not to be, you know, try not to feel anything too extremely, you know, try not to be overly depressed or overly sad or overly happy even. Just try to, you know, balance it out and not take any one emotion too far. Which, for whatever reason, I tend to believe that's going to be a little bit of a challenge for you Geminis in this month. Over in your air sector, you have the Hierophant. Air is all about communication and what is going on with you mentally in the month of October. The Hierophant generally has to do with the religious institutions, but it doesn't always have to mean that. This could be more of like a spiritual growth for you. But with it being in your air sector, I do feel like it's going to have something to do with communication. So maybe you're going to go talk to somebody, and it doesn't have to do with religion. It could, but it could have to do with just somebody that you will seek, you know, spiritual advice from. Somebody that you connect with on more of a spiritual level. You know, whether that be somebody at a church, or whether it be a close friend that, you know, you feel you're spiritually connected with. Or this could be you just communicating with God in the month of October. You know, if you haven't prayed lately or meditated lately, and really gotten in touch with the Creator or, you know, the universe or whoever it is that you like to, you know, pray to. This may be a month where you get back in touch with that. And you know, overall, I feel that you're going to be seeking some kind of advice. And your thoughts are mentally going to be more on the spiritual for the month of October. In your earth sector, now earth sector generally has to do with your job, your career, but it doesn't necessarily have to be something that makes you money. It's something that you work at, something that you spend a lot of time and effort into, whether it makes you money or not. And it's usually something that's more solid, something that's not going to be easily changed within the month. So you have the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is usually about feeling some kind of defeat. You know, and it's usually some kind of mental battle that you're going through. It could be a physical battle. You could actually be going through some kind of physical situation, you know, whether it be, you know, a divorce or fighting for custody or anything. It could be anything, you know. Sorry for my lack of, examples, but, you know, it could be a physical battle that you're going through. But I feel for some of you it's going to be a mental battle. And right now you're feeling overwhelmed. You're feeling defeated. You know, there's a lot on your plate. You see the 9 swords in the background. There's still a lot to go. You know, there's a lot of things that still need to be done. And you know, you're maybe feeling overwhelmed. Like this is too much for you at this time. And it generally has to do with your job, but it doesn't have to. But, you know, you just may have too much on your plate, you know. For me, for example, I don't have an actual 9-to-5 job where I go out and work. You know, I'm mostly a stay-at-home mom. I do the tarot. But, you know, I can feel very overwhelmed at times because I have a lot on my plate. I have a lot of responsibility. I also homeschool my children. So even though these things don't make me physical money, tarot can, but it's still, that's my job. That's, you know, and even though it has nothing to do with money, it's still a job for me. And I can feel like I have too much responsibility and I have too much on my plate. And that, it could, I think, is what is going on with you in the month of October, Gemini. Perhaps people are asking too much out of you. When it comes to your fire sector, this is action. This is what's going on with you in the month. Like what you're actually doing, you know, physically. You have the 6 of Swords in reverse. Now, 6 of Swords is usually about leaving a situation. Especially when it's in the fire position, you're physically leaving a situation. This is a situation that, you know, you want to leave swiftly and quickly, because you have that feeling, I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time. This could be a serious situation where you are literally fleeing for your life, or this could be a small situation. And for most of you, it's going to be a very small situation, where you're just like, yep, this isn't for me, let's go. It could also mean travel. And this leaving, though, it will generally affect you emotionally because she's traveling on a boat on water. Water is always emotion. I feel, though, that there's some kind of altercation going on for a lot of you, that you're going to leave, whether you should or you shouldn't. It's just something that you're going to do in the heat of the moment, because you're maybe having trouble balancing your emotions. You're feeling some very extreme emotions. I'm not sure. It's going to be a little different for all of you. But that's what I'm getting. I'm getting that, you know, you're going to be, there's going to be some kind of altercation where, you know, whether it's justified or not, you're going to be feeling some extreme emotions, and it's going to cause you to leave the situation, at least temporarily. Now, with it being in its reverse position, I kind of feel like this is something that you shouldn't leave. Like you're leaving with like in a hot-headed decision. Like if I'm explaining it right. You're leaving without really thinking. You're leaving because you're mad, you know, but it may not be the smartest decision. It could also mean, because I don't know what's going on in your personal life, I don't know all the little details, so it could actually mean that you do need to leave, but there may be some kind of trouble leaving. You may not be able to leave as easily as you would like to leave. You may have some emotional strings there that are very much attached and making it very hard for you to leave the situation. So yeah, I can't tell for sure if this is all the same situation. I do think that there's a couple different situations going on here. I feel like your water and your fire cards could be very much connected, and your earth and your air card could be very much connected. And maybe for some of you it is one situation, and for some of you it's many situations. But yeah, there's definitely some, I mean, either you're traveling in a means that you haven't traveled before, like boat or airplane or things like that. But generally it's that you're just leaving a situation. And I do feel that it's going to be you physically leaving the situation, not just mentally thinking this ain't for me. It's going to be something that you actually, you know, leave one location and go to another location. So hopefully it's not anything too serious. Hopefully it is just something that's just fueled by emotion, and that can be tempered and you know, fixed in the near future. But anyway, that is your reading in its entirety, Gemini. I hope that you found it helpful. Please let me know in the comments if these cards correlated and how they correlated. I feel that, you know, these cards are spot on, but perhaps my interpretation is a little, you know, is a little off, because it's so difficult when I'm reading for thousands of people. So, you know, let me know how the cards correlated with you in the month of October. I'd really enjoy hearing that. And if you did find it helpful, please push that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I do this every month, and hopefully next month I will be all better and not sound so bad. So, and I will see you all next month.